What?
Came out looking nice.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. It's here. Finally, 3 years later, we're gonna put another video. Was it 3 years later? Actually, I think I put one last year. It's 2023. 2022 just passed. I think I did post the electrical wiring for the interior and engine harnesses. If you haven't seen those videos, go check it out. They're old, but they're still new. I like doing these videos because honestly, I feel like it benefits the community for the most part. There's always something that someone has encountered, and this is one of those videos. You'll see at the very end what I'm talking about. And usually people just encounter issues with their projects, and they're like scratching their heads and trying to figure out things on the fly. This is one of those videos. But first, let's talk about the engine harness. I did a lot of wiring repairs. If you saw in the last video, we did a lot of radio work. We did some O2 sensor modifications. This is a 1986. Your particular model did not have an O2 sensor. I added the wiring for it. The reason that I added the O2 sensor, if you look back to previous videos, was because I'm using a 1988 Toyota pickup ECU. That is why I added an O2 sensor, because that particular model, the O2 sensor was made. This is the actual area of the O2 sensor that I did modify. I don't point it out here, but it is this exact area. Look at this harness. You cannot complain about this harness. Look how shiny it is. Well, actually, at that point in time, it was really shiny. Now it's actually pretty dirty and dusty. Lots of things have happened, okay? I do I do the updates when I have time, or when I get motivated enough to actually pull off some project checklist things that I need to do. But you gotta finesse your way through some of the hoses. As you see, the power steering reservoir, the igniter's there, some master cylinder is there as well, mass airflow, all that stuff. You kind of have to make your way around things, squeeze the harness through. Here's the other side, the battery side, the passenger side. You see the fuel resistor right there. You see the fuel pump relay right there. This is the fuse box for the engine compartment. Now, I didn't bedline the interior engine bay, and the reason is this: grounds are important, and you'll find out why grounds are important through the later of this video. It's just one of those connections that you cannot make resistance on. If you know what resistance is, great. If you don't, look it up. Electrical resistance, you don't want it in your electrical components. For the most part, it is looking flawless. No issues as of yet. Putting on the accelerator pedal bracket. I didn't do any painting on this bracket. I thought it looked fine how it was. But the brake and clutch bracket, I did paint it, and that was basically stamped steel. Over time, stamped steel, untreated stamped steel, just gets rusty. So I just did a bit of etch primer, some primer, and some black gloss spray paint. That's all I did. Everything was from Home Depot. You don't really have to get all technical. If it was an automotive application, I just used straight up gloss paint from Home Depot. It's just straightforward, and it came out really looking like if it was painted stock. Not flaking. Even as of yet of 2023, it is not flaking. None of these parts are flaking. And I think the key when it comes to metal parts is the etch primer. The etch primer is essential. If you use straight up primer will go away, will start peeling over sometime. So etch primer, and on top of that I use primer, and then on top of that I use gloss coat. in that series. You probably can get away with just using edge primer and then straight up gloss paint. I think you'll be okay with that, but I guess I went the extra mile, huh? Put the steering column in. I have my beautiful wife helping me out. She helps me out whenever I ask. Can't complain. This is when she had her haircut on. She don't have that haircut anymore. And she's lost a lot of weight. We've lost a lot of weight since then too. You're probably saying, "Whoa, you're not even that big there." So we had a couple pounds at that area at that time, 2020. Jeez, it's crazy. But the steering column, straightforward. I put it. I think I aligned the knuckle portion of it, or the, what's that called? Yeah, the coupler in the bottom first, and then I aligned it to the crash bar, and then I temporarily install the instrument cluster. I remember in the wiring harness I did repair some wires from the cluster. Let's go backtrack. I had to reflect on what was going on here. This is a different day, and I saw that the heater core pipes had punctures in it. And you're probably wondering, what am I doing? And if you saw what I pointed earlier, there was a puncture, a little crack within the seams of that pipe. So the easiest way that I find, instead of sourcing a pipe, old truck, it's hard to source some parts. Let's straighten it out. Basically, I put a socket right in the middle to make that hole back round. And what I ended up doing is use flux. And this is the same thing that I did with the body of the car when there were screw holes through the main body. Basically, I use flux, I heat it up, and I use solder. Very simple, very easy. Anybody can do this. And the solder just sticks. It's crazy, and it basically seals up the hole. You don't have to worry about that anymore. I made a big blob, but I do straighten it out. I don't have a video of that, but it is actually nice and smooth. There it is. And I used the light test to make sure there's no holes.
Oh, you're recording, right?
Yeah.
No video?
No video.
I'm gonna go to the end.
This is what I'm gonna use here. This is coolant. This is for long life and super long life coolant. It's a sealant. This is the only thing I've ever used when it comes to any kind of sealant that deals with coolant stuff. I don't know if the Permanent Tech stuff goes on par, but I know this doesn't fail. We'll find out how it works with this heater core. I never tried it on a heater core, but I know these are prone to leak. I know this one, when we were taking it apart, we did find coolant coming out from here. So I got all the little hardware that come with it. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take these two pipes. I'm gonna reuse the O-ring because I know those O-rings, for some reason the O-rings did not come with this new heater core. That's fine. I was looking at the old O-rings, and they don't seem to be far shot or far too old. They're just a little dusty. Just needs a little bit of cleaning on there, but other than that, they're fine. So we'll clean these O-rings, and we'll start with the assembly.
So one thing I don't mention on this video is when I'm installing these pipes, I found out that the new one of the pipe hole fittings was really tight. So I kind of had to force the pipe in there and do a twisting motion with the pipe in there. And that basically widened that hole enough to where it doesn't feel like it doesn't fit. So that's what I ended up doing. As you saw, I took off the pipe again and reapplied some FIPG, some gasket maker, and basically redid it. And I can tell you right now, that bad boy ain't leaking. I'll tell you that right now. It is flawless. But even if it did leak, do not feel bummed out. Repetition makes you a master. Trust me when I say that. If you keep doing things over and over, you'll find out that you just get better, and it's just the way it is. Don't be bummed out when you see yourself fail one time. It's just one time. Failure is part of life. All right. I didn't fail this time, so how about you be like me? I'm just kidding. Relax. But yeah, it went in perfectly. The new heater core is in there. We put the air box in there, the heater box. And it did take me a little bit of finessing to do, but I ended up accomplishing the task. Then I got a little sidetracked right now. I had to loosen the crash bar a little bit and just make sure that I don't bend those heater core pipes. I just don't. It's hard to source those. Try to salvage anything that you can. Try to repair it the best way as possible. Trust me, it's still good. We'll see how it goes. Yeah. Alright, I think I got the last of it to make this start. I wanted to put the heater core in because I know coolant's going to be rushing out. Those clamps are a pain in the ass, but we got the coolant or the heater core stuff all connected. I had to take off. Oh crap, I forgot something. We can't start it like that. We can't start it like that.
Oh.
Alright, now we can. So we got the heater core. I already tightened the heater core hoses in the back. Those clamps are a pain. Did I just zoom in? These clamps right here, they're a pain. I'll put the coolant in the coolant jug, and I just put the battery in, which I had it charging. Hopefully it starts. It's one of those things. I got a message who sent it to me. Oh no. But yeah, I just found out that my credit card information was stolen. So I had to send an email to my bank that it wasn't me. But that's okay. That is not okay, but it's okay. So I'm gonna get it started. Hopefully it'll crank. I already had some bad news for today, so maybe there's some good news. Let's see it.
Here's the key. You don't need the key? Here's the key, no? Oh no, the key's not on here. Can you stick the other key?
A flathead screwdriver.
Handy dandy starter.
No.
It's making noise.
What's that noise? That don't sound right.
Something's going wrong.
The battery's low.
Dang. I thought you charged it.
I did.
You did?
Come on, start it. Ah! It's the battery.
Bum, bum, bum.
Dang. Let's see if it works. What if it didn't?
Then we know it's not the battery.
Come on, don't say that.
Huh?
Don't say that.
Hopefully it was the battery. What?
You're recording my janky stuff?
Yeah.
I just wanted to just see the signal. I hope it works.
Let's see the janky work.
That's temporary. That's temporary, bro. Alright, here we go. My key? Where I leave the key?
There's a mini one right there. Is that what you use? The stubby one? Uh-oh, something sparked.
What part?
Something sparked. I saw it spark. I don't know, but I saw it spark. Let's fix the problem.
It shot out. I'm not prepared.
Tell us, Josie, how you gonna fix it?
I'm gonna tighten it. It was loose. That's what it looked like.
What do you mean, face?
Alright, let's try this again.
The culprit.
My key.
You have a screwdriver. Where's
My key. Here it is. Alright, it's not liking something. The acceleration, add air. I don't think I messed with this. Worth a shot. We're gonna allow more air into the chamber.
Are you gonna twist that little screw?
See what happens.
That didn't do anything, right?
No, there's something else going on. It's not seeing something. So this thing was all the way almost in. I hope it's not a one-time deal. I was messing with the fuel resistor. This piece right here. I don't know if you can see that, but it deals with the fuel stuff. So I was messing around with those things for a little bit. Started unplugging stuff in this corner. I did the O2 sensor. I did the mass airflow. I had a spare mass airflow, if y'all guys remember that. Did all that. It wasn't working. My last part that I did mess with was the fuel resistor. So I want to say it might have been rusty, corroded, something. It was blue in there, but I don't know. It's still on. That's a good sign. I want to leave it like that for a little bit until I get the coolant or the heater core filled up with coolant. So I'm gonna take advantage. Hopefully it'll rev. That's good. I mean, it sounds good. We'll see. I don't know. It was a bit scary. Couldn't sleep last night trying to figure it out. I even have my fuel pressure kit right here. It was just so odd to me that it didn't want to start because I didn't mess anything in the engine bay. It was all interior stuff. So we'll see. I'm pretty confident that it might be fixed. Don't know yet. I'm gonna let that battery charge up for a little bit because I've been messing with it. I don't want to discharge a new battery. The AutoZone guy was kind of like, "You got a good battery." I'm like, "I know it shows proper voltages, but the cranking amps isn't there." And he was kind of like, "I know what I'm saying," but I was like, "I would prefer, you know, if you could change this battery." And he was like, "Okay."
he wasn't really happy about it. But yeah, I hope it stays running after I started a second time. So we'll get back to that. Let it warm up, let it do its thing, and then we'll get back to it. And that's gonna be a wrap. Thank you guys for watching this installment. This is gonna be part 13 of the 4Runner project. Hey, take a look at the other content. There's plenty out there to look at. As always, thank you, and I see you on the next one.